Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show Aftershow special Thanksgiving edition. Not that there's going to be any Thanksgiving content, but still, hope everybody's having a lovely Thanksgiving, or if you are watching this after the fact, hope you have had a lovely Thanksgiving. And we got audio. So we're all good to go. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, and you're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And for my other financial content, just scroll down. You can see this show, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. This is number 428, and so there's plenty of other episodes for you to watch. And there's also the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist. I'm not doing that one currently. That one was the weekend stream, and that's on hiatus. I may do one this weekend, though. We'll see. And the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, so give those a listen if you are so inclined. Also, programming note, I will either be doing a late after show tomorrow, or I won't be doing it at all. Because I'm going to dinner at a Mexican restaurant with my son, and so and he gets off work right at like 5 o'clock Eastern time, and the stream normally starts at 5:25 Eastern time when the Ramsey Show is over on YouTube. And so, like I said, either I'll do it when I get home, which I would imagine would be, like 7 or so, or I'll just do one on. I'll do a answering your financial questions live on Saturday, probably somewhere around 4 p.m. Big football game at noon. Alrighty, so not much going on in the news and such because it's Thanksgiving Day. So let's get right into the questions. And of course, I didn't get to the right question yet. Let's do that. I always forget about that. If I do it too early, it sometimes resets, and then I have to do this again anyway. Do not ignore debt. Saw that one as a thing. Somebody ignoring all debt. That's what you don't want to do. For sure. We want to go back to about 7 days. Let's see. Debt forgiveness program. We'll swap it. We did that one. 26-year-old looking for investment saving advice. While also having debt, and so that's a no. And peaking, we did that one. Balance transfer. Problem with the balance transfer, everybody wants to go, oh, let's go down to the lower interest rate to lower the interest, but they charge you to transfer it. There's a transfer fee, so you definitely need to weigh that in. And anything involved in moving debt around, that generally is bad for people because that makes you think that you have done something. And so then you're not as intense as you were when you have it with the higher interest rate. That might make you pay it off faster. So don't move things around. Don't do transfers. And just pay it off as soon as possible. But we did that one. How to handle a windfall. Any extra money goes to whatever baby step you're on, and you just keep going on the baby steps with that money as far as it'll go. We did that one. Renting apartment with low credit score. Did that one yesterday as well. Sell them to get out of debt. Once in a lifetime adventure or financial misstep. They're going to finance it. So that's no adventure. That's no. That's a no. Rule of thumb on how much to keep us at. We did that one. The ad should be exteriors by Premier. I don't know what that is. New to Dave Ramsey. Let's see. Okay. Don't think I did this one. Let's go ahead and open up the whole thing. All, comma. I'm new to Dave Ramsey. I've been glued to his podcast and currently reading Total Money Makeover. Fabulous book. I'm sold. Okay, great. Then do the baby steps. Do everything correctly then. My issue is that I'm all out of order, if you will. Well, then, if you're sold, get in order. And of course, what he's talking about is the baby steps. And so, if you're all out of order, you just start doing it in the order. Now that doesn't mean if you have a paid off house that you would get a mortgage on it so that you can do step 6 later. No, you don't do that. But as of this moment, you just stop trying to be on a higher baby step and you just start on the baby step that you're on if you have non-mortgage debt, and that would be step 2. A lot of people don't like to do that. I've also seen questions like where people are like, can we skip step 2 if we make a lot of money? And that's a no. And that is the beauty of the baby steps. It is the same for everyone. The only ones you get to skip is if they don't apply to you. Step 2 is the best to be able to skip, in my personal opinion. Step 6, it wouldn't suck to be able to skip that, to have already paid off house by the time you get to that. And then, because that makes you immediately on step 7. So that is fabulous. So if you're all out of order, the idea would be to get in order. They have a list here too, slightly rephrased, but close enough. I need help, advice on getting myself on track to get his process to work for me. Okay. So if you have non-mortgage debt, like, and especially if it's significantly, you stop investing. So you would be undoing that. Now you don't sell what you've already contributed. You don't sell that because that is going to cause you get a penalty for taking it out before of a retirement account before you retire. But any savings you have, if you built up baby step 3, guess what? Everything except $1,000 goes to pay off debt. So it's very easy to do, but I can see in this situation, I don't know, 48 maybe. We'll see. I'll read it and see. But normally what happens is people just don't want to do what the easiest and logical thing is to do. Let's see. Also, I have 3 individual stocks that have been sinking monthly allocation for about 5 years through DSPP on Computershare. Each is worth about 4K, so 12K total. You would sell that. Anything that's not in a retirement account, you would sell that. I don't know what DSPP is. Let's see what it is. DSPP, direct stock purchase plan. And so, yeah, that's a no. So you would sell that. So yeah, no single stocks is the advice. You need to be in mutual funds because there's there's diversification in there, and so less risk. So the DSPP, the Computershare, none of that stuff matters. You sell that to pay off step 2 debt. I also have a brokerage account that I use as an emergency fund and sitting on about 5K there. So I know not nearly enough. That is true. And also you can't use a brokerage account because you don't have immediate access to it. And emergencies do not wait 1 to 3 days to happen to you. So you cannot use that. Your emergency fund has to be 100% liquid. Let's see, I have a pension of $1,300 a month. That will start in 2 years at age 50. Okay, I'd like to direct deposit. Okay, so that's a like, so that's got nothing to do with what you're doing now. So this doesn't matter. This part doesn't matter. So you can do that when that starts coming in. You can do that. Here's my issue: debt, right? And so all you need to be concerned about with my friend is that you have the $1,000 emergency fund and no more in savings than that, and then put everything else onto debt. That's all you have to worry about. It's not that difficult, but people like to do their own thing, and so even if they say they're sold and on board, a lot of times they not, especially if they're posting on the Reddit. But we'll see. What I bring home after my investing, I with what I bring home, gotcha. After my investing, I make my debt payments, trying to pay more than minimum. And so, if you're putting, you're doing it wrong. If you're putting extra on each one, you put all of the extra amount on the smallest one to get rid of that one as soon as possible. Let's see, and I end up with very little left over. That is the idea. You are supposed to send all of that to debt. So even though, which should be 2 words, I'm building wealth to a degree, you're not supposed to be building wealth. I don't see, okay, so this might be one of the people that, and it does happen sometimes. I mean, there have been people in the Ramsey Show chat, and granted, some of them may be trolls, but I think some people somehow they look at this list and think that they need to be doing all of this at the same time. And that is the dumbest crap I've ever heard of. I don't know how you can look at a list and not say, baby step one, save $1,000 as fast as possible, not do any of the rest of them, and then finish this one and then say check and then move on to step two. Now, it doesn't explain it here, but you do steps 1, 2, and 3 just like that. You do them one at a time in order without doing any higher steps. So you're not investing while you're doing steps 1, 2, and 3. You're not saving for kid college and not paying out extra on your house either. But steps 4, 5, and 6, you do all these 3. You do all at the same time. Not as the same time as these other ones, but as the same time as the other 2. You're doing step 4, 5, and 6. All 3 of these at the same time, but that's still in order. So of your extra amount that you have every month, 15% is going to investing. And if you have any left over after that, you can start addressing kids' college if that's applicable. If it's not applicable, you don't save money for kid college if you don't have kids. Or if you choose, some people choose not to help their kids. They want to make their kids get character or whatever, I guess, and do it all on their own, and that's fine as well. So if either of those are the case, don't have them, or choosing not to help them for whatever reason, you can skip that. And then if anything's left after both of those, then you would put any extra on the mortgage to pay that mortgage off early. But that again is only after you've gotten rid of all of your non-mortgage debt and you have finished your full emergency fund. Let's see. Even though I'm building wealth to a degree, the way I've been doing things has me living paycheck to paycheck. Well, it's still gonna feel like that. It's gonna feel like that. A lot of ways how you fix that, the paycheck to paycheck thing, is you look at your budget and you take out all the crap you're buying that is not 100% necessary. Like, yes, food is necessary. They have that at the grocery store. So no eating out if you're on baby steps 1, 2, and 3. That's a no. Get your dumb debt paid off. You said you're sold, so be sold. So again, trying to do all of the steps at the same time, apparently, is what I'm getting from this, or something close to it. And and people don't want to go backwards, basically, and that's why the people that say, hey, can I get a pass, but if I make a lot of money, can I not do baby step 2? Mr. Ramsey is the no debt guy. If he was going to tell you one thing, it would be to not have any freaking debt. Where were we? Okay, car notes. Yeah. And they love to tell you the percentage. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I mean, the balance doesn't really matter either. It's still you're on baby step 2 because it's non-mortgage debt, and all that has to be paid off before you do a darn thing else. You don't do any of this stuff before all your debt is gone. So that's all you need to worry about now. There's no building wealth at this point. That's a no, 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 no. The answer to that is no. Let's see. Skipping over the boring details of percentages, and so yeah, I don't know. 30. I didn't even add it up. 30, 20, 54. It's like 60,000. Looks like something like that. After listening to Dave and looking at the single stocks, I realized they aren't making nearly what they would as index funds. Yeah, that's why that's dumb as crap. I mean, you may get like, you may be like Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dan, put the Bubba Gump money into Apple, some kind of fruit company. He put the money into Apple like at the very beginning of the company. And so, sure, they made a gajillion dollars. But if you're starting today with any, you're not trying to find the Apple. You're not doing that. You are having a little bit of any big stock inside of a mutual fund, but it's sitting there with all of the rest of them as well. So you're not doing what this person is doing by doing single stocks. He's not making as much as he could by having a mutual fund. Now, for retirement, Dave does not recommend index funds because you can find managed funds that beat the index even after you subtract the higher expense ratio. So don't be lazy. Do the work. Make more money. I was thinking I'd like to approach my debt using the snowball method. Well, you said you're sold, and so now you're just thinking you'd like to do that, possibly by doing what is the actual advice. Great. I was thinking sell one of the 4K stocks. No, you sell all of it. All of it goes away. Any savings you have above $1,000 goes away. All that goes to debt. Well, I don't, and some of it, again, people, they don't want to do that, so they don't even think of it. They don't want to understand it, basically, because it is really simple. His advice is so simple. He doesn't use the $15 college words and all that. All the books are very easy to read, and so it's not that hard to understand. But people just don't want to because they want to do their dumb stuff instead. You sell all of it. You sell all of it, and then you don't roll into another debt. You don't do that, and so on. No, we don't do rolling debt. We do not do that. Just pay it off. So I don't know. I don't know what where you're getting. You must not be listening to the podcast. I wonder how long. It says new, so maybe I haven't listened that much. But it doesn't take long for you to realize that. Oh, this no debt thing. He's serious about that. Yes, very much so. And after your $1,000 emergency fund, that's all you do, and you don't try to do any other crap that you're trying to do here. Let's see. Snowball. There's no rolling. There's no rolling. Or do you mean the payment? And that part, okay, so I misunderstood that. I thought you were talking about rolling debt. But no, you would, yeah. While you pay out the 4K car note, yeah, if that's the smallest debt, yeah, you pay that one off first. And then your minimum payment that was on that one, plus the extra you were putting in there. Now that goes to the second smallest debt. Yeah, so that kind of rolling is good. That's the snowball rolling. So that's good. Does this sound like the right approach? Mostly not, no. Any other advice you can offer? Follow the baby steps. Finish reading the book and maybe you'll understand it. Let's see how many people. 58 comments, so I'm sure somebody set him straight on that. At least one person. Some people I'm sure said, oh yeah, you're doing fine. I really want to get out from under this debt ASAP. That's why you sell all your freaking single stocks and you quit doing things the way you were doing it before. I mean, people don't accidentally end up with Dave Ramsey in most cases. So that you must have Googled pay off debt or something like that, and you found Dave. I mean, it's possible you could be just flipping on the radio sometimes or on YouTube. It could just, I mean, even if you're like, have looked at other financial videos, he might come up as well. But most of the time it's because you Googled or YouTube search pay off debt is why he would come out. And so that should be your focus, and that should be your only focus. But you're trying to do it wrong. You're doing it wrong. And, you don't have to take my word for it. What do you think, George?
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah. And so you're doing it wrong. So stop doing it wrong and do it right. Let's see, get it ASAP. So I can allocate more to retirement and emergency funds and peace. Right. But don't even think about that now, and don't even try to do that now. You are just paying off debt. Stop thinking about anything else except getting that debt paid off. And so work more and spend less. And so if this person hasn't already, you need to cut that budget of anything that's not 100% necessary. And takeout food, eating out, is not 100% necessary. You can get cheaper food at the grocery store most of the time, in most cases. All right, fun times. Good first question. Let's see. Or was that the second one? Underrated critic. If any of you should be a traditional IRA rather than a Roth, what is your reason? I can't think of one. Why you would have one. Because on IRAs, I think that the traditional IRA has the same income limit, like it's something like 221,000 or something like that. I think that if that's your annual salary, then you are ineligible for that. But you can still do the backdoor Roth. So yeah, I don't know what the reason would be, because it's always take the tax-free growth. If you have any amount of time, significant amount of time in the market, then your growth is going to be way, 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 way more than your contributions. Nobody likes to sacrifice now, though, but as far as in your future, it will be much better for you to have already paid the taxes on the smaller amount of the contributions. Let's see, virgin at this, so I'm naive. I'm struggling to understand why someone would choose traditional since Roth makes more sense. Even Ramsey says so. Right, well, even Ramsey says so, yeah. Of course he does, because that's his advice. Now, the only thing that beats a Roth is match, because that's 100% rate of return. So you do your match first. Match first. And then any type of Roth account, that doesn't have to be a Roth IRA even, that could be a Roth 401k, which does exist, but all employers that offer a 401k, all of them do not offer a Roth 401k. So that is up to them. So, and in that case, you would do your match first, if there is one, for the 401k. And then you would, after that, then you would put all the rest of it in the Roth until that's maxed out for the year. And then you would go back to your 401k. So, yeah, I mean, the financial bros always have a reason to do stuff the way Dave says to do it, or not to do it, rather. And so, who knows, like some kind of tax thing or whatever that they think makes more sense. But again, they also think makes more sense to keep your mortgage around and pay more interest on it. Dumb. Instead of paying it off early. And to debt leverage the mortgage by like investing that money anyway, because it will make more in the market than you're paying out on the mortgage, depending on what the interest rate is. And so all that's dumb as crap. So don't do that. Advice, please, from Skillinator. Okay. Alrighty. Hello to the people watching right now, and also to the people that will be watching later. Hope you are having / had a lovely Thanksgiving day. I'm in a very tight spot financially, okay, and that's how you came to be on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, I'm sure. I have no savings and am working 6 12-hour days a week. That's 72 to do the math for you. 72 hours, great. Because working more and spending less is how you get out of all that debt that you have, apparently. Sometimes 16-hour days when available, just trying to make minimum payments on my debt. Well, I am roughly 170K in debt, with it being split between credit cards and student loans. I pay approximately $800 a month in car payments. Sell the car. Sell the car. Car payments. Is that just on one car, or why do you have multiple cars? So that's a no on the car. Sell the car. Get $1,000, $2,000 car, as cheap as you can get one. Have your mechanic look at it first before you buy it, and tell you whether you should buy it or not for the amount of money that it is. But get a cheap car. You can't do a $800 car payment. And that's the big things are the easiest things to give up, but like people don't want to give up new cars that they're paying, even though they're paying on it. 900 credit card payments, and that's even more than that. Crazy. Student loans are divided between Fed, which you pay $380 a month for, and private, which you pay $1,100 for. Yeah, so dumb. Don't get student loans. My rent is as cheap as possible where I'm at, okay, which is $1,800 a month. I don't know that that's true. I don't know where this person is though. See, I mean, the problem when you get information from people without them like providing proof and so forth, this could be a situation where the rent is as cheap as possible where I am, that I'm willing to rent at. I don't want to rent in this particular area or this particular area or this particular area. That kind of thing. It's limitations they're putting on themselves. So, and that's a choice you're making that's making your life more difficult. Let's see. Other bills are my car insurance. Yeah, that happens. Monthly fee for breaking a lease. Couldn't afford the rent. Okay. Which is $400 a month for 1 year. Oh my goodness. You are having problems. This was due to me moving to a cheaper area to try to, not try and. We don't try and do something. We try to do something, help reduce spending. Anyway, other bills all add to approximately $8,000 a month of expenses. That's way too much. What in the heck are you buying? $200 a week for groceries. If it's just you, you need to lower that, my friend. That's too high. And $50 a week for gas. Oh, family of 4. Okay, my wife doesn't work because daycare was too expensive. She needs to do something. Maybe she can work while you're at home. Maybe she can do some kind of online work or something, some online work, like maybe at night when the kids are sleeping, that kind of thing. So she needs to find something to do. I mean, or even if it's something out of the house, like selling all the crap that you bought with all your freaking debt. Could do that. Permitting me for working overtime due to childcare. I make a great deal more than she was making. Gotcha. Working 6 days a week. Right. You don't go to work and pay for daycare unless it's gonna be a net plus for you, and it has to be a significant net plus for you. Like, you don't want to work and then have to give 75% of that income to daycare. So that would be dumb, because you should be able to make up that 25% in money either somehow, either by having a part-time job or doing something, anything that increases income and or lowers expenses. Where are we at? Approximately $8,000 a month. Makes approximately $8,000 a month and has approximately $8,000 a month of expenses. So yeah, that's not sustainable, obviously, which you found out. So that's a no on that. So you got to cut the budget to the absolute bone. Again, if it's not 100% necessary, just like where you are living at, maybe you're being too picky on that for the amount of financial trouble you're in. So you just got to be honest with yourself and not put so many restrictions on things you won't do. I'm trying to keep up while I pay. You can't. You can't. If there's $1 more of expenses, then you're in negative for that month. I'm trying to keep up while I want to pay off while I wait to pay off my lowest debt. Okay, well, it's not, you don't save it up and wait for it. You put that money towards that out of every paycheck. Which will save me $180 a month and allow some tiny wiggle room to start working on my next debt, which I owe $1,500 on. Right, but you get rid of a much larger debt by selling that car. You sell the car. Even if it's underwater, you still can, if you say $800 a month, that is, what might that be? 20 some thousand, 25,000, whatever. I mean, yeah, whatever it is. So like, for example, if it's only worth 20,000 and you owe 25 on it, Dave is fine with you getting a $5,000 loan to replace that $25,000 loan, because you're 20,000 less in debt. I am not in a position to save anything until the first debt is paid off, approximately 3 months. Right, you're not, and you're not supposed to save anything. Nobody said to save anything. Again, I mean, people always talk about that. I don't understand it. It says baby step 1, save $1,000. It doesn't say and keep adding to it. Doesn't say that. No, it just, the next thing is baby step 2, pay off all debt. That doesn't mean also do some saving. That doesn't mean that. And again, you don't save up a bunch of money and then pay off the debt. You don't save that money and then pay that debt off. Especially if you tend to be a spender, because then you need to get that money out of your account and into that, whoever that lender is, you need to get that money in their account to reduce your debt so you don't freaking spend it. Do I start to save my $1,000 fund? Yeah, that's first. Yeah, so you do that first for sure. And you don't touch that. That does not go to extra. You don't use that for baby step 2. That $1,000, best case scenario, is that $1,000 stays there forever. That you don't have an emergency in baby step 2 at all. And then you make that $1,000 grow to the full emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses. And hopefully you don't have to touch that ever either. And you don't apply that to anything either. That doesn't become down payment. That doesn't become investing. That stays the emergency fund forever, ever, ever, ever. Yes, you do step 1 first before step 2. Imagine that. Imagine. Or should I commit to paying off something else first? Well, again, it says baby step 1 as that and not pay off debt. So I don't understand how you could possibly do that. I understand you got stress from the debt. I would too. You're spending more, and so you need to cut stuff. You need to cut stuff. So again, the things to cut, sell that car. Other things to cut, uh, subscriptions. All the subscriptions. No streaming. No streaming. Internet, fine. Watch free stuff on YouTube. No streaming services. Anything that's not 100% necessary, you cut. I have entertained the possibility of bankruptcy, but really want to avoid it if possible. That should be your last option. It should be your option before bankruptcy would be moving to somewhere you don't want to move to. But again, I don't know where he's at. If this is, Seattle for for 4 people to live in, that might be 1,800, might be the minimum. So just depends on the area that this person lives in, whether he's fronting with that, and that's a limitation he's putting on himself, because that is most people's problems. They will not sacrifice as much as they should to get rid of their dumb debt. It's just temporary. These steps do not take forever. And then once that happens, and then you don't ever take on any more dumb debt, then you're in much better space financially for the rest of your life. Any advice is very much appreciated. I feel completely trapped and helpless. Yeah, that can happen, and that's when most people find Dave, for sure. Life is literally just working nonstop to try to keep the ends from falling apart and keep my family fed, and I have no idea what I'm doing, as I made all the stupid decisions that put me in this mess. Okay, and so you have to stop thinking you have to stop thinking in the way completely that you were before. Change completely as far as how you're thinking about doing things. And how you do that is you make the decision to sell that car even if it's underwater. And a lot of people, that's the reason that they don't sell their car. It's because I can only sell it for X amount, and I owe Y amount on it, and that's a difference of $2,000, and so then they don't do it, which is as dumb as crap. Again, it's much better to have a much lower amount being owed to a bank rather than a bunch of money to whoever financed your car for you. So yeah, you just have to be willing to do the advice and get out of your head about the way you were thinking when you did all this dumb crap. And also, yes, and embrace the sacrifice. You cannot make $8,000 a month and then also have $8,000 a month in expenses. So where's that money going? Where's that money going? Let's just take a quick look at that. This is interesting question, of course. 1,800 for rent. Let's say rent, or yeah, rent. That is rent. Okay, 1,800 minus 8,000 minus 1,800 is 6,200. So where is all that going? That is what I want to know. $6,200. Where is that going? How much in debt? It is. Now the expenses is probably including the debt. I hope. Otherwise, of course, you're not making any money, making any progress on paying off the debt. So it is. Well, let's see. It is. Where is your payments here? It is 800 in car, but you're going to sell that and get rid of that, and so then that won't be in there, so that'll be much lower payment for a lower loan if you are underwater at all. Yeah, it doesn't say how much the let's see, student loans 380. It doesn't say everything he pays in debt for. 380, so that's 1480. Minus 1480. So that's 47.20 so far, still left over. Not doing daycare. Current 200 monthly fee for breaking the lease, which I mean, you didn't know that at the time. You thought you were doing a good job there, but you weren't. So that's 600. Oh, other bills all add to approximately 8,000 a month for expense. So that includes this. So there was no need to do this. So yeah, I want to know what all the other bills are. The $50 a week for gas. Make sure there's no joyriding. Stop going places, because normally you go to places, you're gonna spend money there. Go to work and go home, and that's it. So 200 a week for groceries, 4 people. That's not bad. So I can't really fault there. Let's see. Yeah. That's pretty good for doing well managing that, and that's part of what mom can be doing while she's at home. She's taking care of that and making those groceries stretch out and buying the right things at the store and such. And so yeah, that's how you can. That's how definitely a way you can help without actually working any. All right. Interesting. Fun times, not for a person in this situation for sure, but a good case study. Consistent 390, $65,000 at 19. Is that debt or income is 2.4K to 2.7K a month? My rent is $1,000 a month, and I spend about 600 extra on food and the bus. So 600 a month. That's 150 a week. Now, if the family of 4 can do it for cheaper than you're doing it, what are you buying? And how much is the bus cost? I don't know how much bus costs. Maybe buses are a lot. I don't know about that. So I would look at that. That's what I would challenge the person to do. I've been saving for about 4.5 years, little by little, and now I can save about 900 a month. Okay. Hopefully no debt, or you shouldn't be saving a dime. Which is huge for me. 19,500 is my Roth IRA. $15,000 in emergency fund. Okay, better not see any debt. 3,000 in checking. 13,000 in money market inside a investment account. Yeah, you shouldn't be doing more than 15% of investing. I mean, unless you're going to be a lifetime renter, and then you can put yourself on baby step 7. The rest in stocks. It shouldn't be in it shouldn't be in stocks or the index fund either. You shouldn't like have 800 different investing accounts, and 3 or 4 savings accounts. You don't do that. So $1,000 in dollar bills. All right. Why do you need $1,000 in dollar bills? That's pretty dumb. But I don't know. There's no question. Any advice for what to do? Baby steps. So theoretically, don't see any mention of debt there. So you don't have any debt. So that's fine. So you should be investing 15% of your gross income. If you are going to college, you would be piling up money to make sure you can graduate college debt free, and to also move out of parents' house if you're still living with parents. So, and that's all you would be doing at this point. You wouldn't even be investing at this point if you're going to college. You would start investing once you graduate college debt free and you get your big boy job or big girl job. So again, if there's no debt, that's great that you have all the assets, all the money, and the retirement account is started. That's fabulous. You got your emergency fund and so forth. And so, but you got to think about the future. So, assuming you have a car already, so you don't need a car anytime in the future. But yeah, I mean, any advice for what to do? So this person probably wanted, maybe some TikTok style advice to do some financial bro kind of finesse investing or something like that. And that's a no for Mr. Ramsey. So, and I'm going to go ahead and say that you don't have that much in expenses if you're living with parents. I don't know that he's doing that or she. But let's see. Oh, it says baby step 3B. Okay, so you're saving for a house. Okay, so didn't say that in here, but I'm glad I looked. Baby step 3B, and that's right there. So you would do that and investing at the same time. So the balance is up to you on that. So you can stop, if you want to save a larger down payment faster, you can stop investing completely for 2 years. And it all can go to down payment if that's what is most important to you. If you're not living on your own now, I would probably move out and rent for a year so you can get used to not being with mommy and daddy before you take the leap and buy a house. Let's see. Okay, skin 9454. I'm 27. I have no debt. Fabulous. No rent. Fabulous. I inherited my home. Fabulous. Only bill I have is power. Okay. My water comes from natural spring. Okay. Interesting. I only bring in 800 a week with my job. But once I get promoted in a few weeks, I'll be bringing in 1,000. Okay. I have a son. Jobs where I live just aren't great, and I don't know what to do. You can move if it's not enough. I mean, you can choose to live within that salary, within that income, which is easy to do if you don't have debt and you don't have not paying any rent because you own a house that is paid for. So you're in a fabulous spot to do something like move if you want, or to stay there if you want. Very hard worker. I really want to make more money. Well, you can. I mean, you say the jobs just aren't great. Look harder for somewhere there. Or you can make the decision, maybe you drive 30 minutes away for your job. Not the best case scenario, but you are the one that wants to make more money instead of living within what you make now. But again, the higher you are on the baby steps, which should be on baby step 4, hopefully, but it just depends on how much he's spending a week. When he's only making 600, it depends on how much he's spending. But without any debt payments and with not having to pay rent or mortgage, that frees up a lot of money for your expenses. So I don't know. Oh, there's only 10. Let's see if there's more information since there was not enough given there. Looking for OP. OP, there we go. Single dad, 3-year-old, and only real expense, such as food and such. Such as food and such. I have no idea how to make a budget or anything. Well, easiest thing to do is to log into your online account, bank account, and you check everything on there and see how much you're spending in groceries. And I mean, if it's more than $100 of a week, I mean, that's a problem for one person and a 3-year-old. So you would want to get that down, but any other crap, that's where you would see where you're spending. Because the whole I don't know how to make a budget or anything means you're just spending money. You're just spending money and you're not being intentional with your money. And so it could be going to anywhere. And when you pull up that bank statement and you look at that and then that says, oh, there was this dumb crap and this dumb crap and went to bar or or went out to eat twice a week. for the month. And so that's 8 times eating out. So you can cut that out. Anything that's not 100% necessary, you can cut out. Went bowling, everything costs money. You start doing fun things that are free. Those exist, especially with a 3-year-old. There's things called playgrounds and stuff like that. Let's see. I'll look into it. FPU, somebody suggested Financial Peace University, and that doesn't hurt ever. Didn't know that existed. I'm good at making money stretch when I'm on my own. And I'm good at living on the bare minimum, but I like to make sure my son has enough, Well, again, you don't, that's great. That's great. You want to provide for your son. We all do, but there's a line where that becomes spoiling. And there's a line where it's you're using your son to justify the spending. That would be like when the son was born, or all of a sudden right now you just decide, oh, well, I have to have this brand of car and it's got to be a new car so my son will be safe, and that is some bull crap. And so that kind of thing, justifying it, is dumb. Let's see what else. So I'm glad I went in. No, that's it though from the OP. So just a little bit more information. But I mean, seems like in general doing fine, but he wants to make more money. And what I would be asking if I were advising this person, I would be asking, what do you want to make the more money for? And of course, I would find out more about the spending, as I said, because most times, I almost said a lot of times, but most times people have no idea where all their money's going. And that's normally that's where I was looking for the money on that last one. Why does the chat it keeps connecting and disconnecting? I don't get it. It's only been going on for about 2 weeks now. I don't know why that does that. I mean, it's only out for like a minute, and then it successfully reconnects. Weird. What time is it? All right, let's do a couple more. Cyber Hokage, private school versus hybrid school versus public school. If you're in step 2, you're going to public school. No question about it. Hello, everyone. Hi, guys. My wife and I are in the process of starting elementary school with our children. Well, you should be graduated by now if you're having children. Yes. Fun times. Just having fun there. Just the phrasing is incorrect because they're starting it with their children. They shouldn't have to be going. Anyway, second grade and kindergarten, okay? What are the thoughts with private versus hybrid school versus public school? If you are on step 4 and you have the extra money, knock yourself out. If you are on step 2, there's no private school. Simple as that. Or step 1 even. There's not one. Or even step 3. There's no private school on steps 1, 2, or 3. That's a no. That was an easy one. Keep going. It's worth it. Oh. It's all right. That person's right, of course. This is promoted. See how they make it look like a post? Thank goodness it says promoted there. Actually, I've read that a couple times before when they first started doing that. That's been a long time since they started doing that, though. XX voices XX. Okay. Ignoring all of my debt. That's a no. That part is a no right there by itself. So the next part of it is certainly going to be a no. Almost certainly. Should I buy a home 2.5 hours away from my job? That's also a no. Why would you do such dumb crap? Why would you do that? Dumb and dumber. All right. I plan to file for bankruptcy next year. Dumb. That should be your last option. And if you have a year to go on it, why can't you just pay off your debt? I make $15 an hour full time and 80 in debt. You may have a problem buying a house and filing bankruptcy in very short order. How about 80K in debts? 20K is student loans. Rest is unsecured stuff that's been charged off. Haven't kept track of everything that I owe because it keeps accumulating. Well, that's not a reason to not keep track of it. Anyways, based on my income, after I file for bankruptcy, I could afford a home for around $80,000. After you file bankruptcy, I don't know that they will buy you a home unless you're paying for it in cash fully. I don't know that they will let you do that, sir or madam. Require moving into a fixer-upper house. I know running water and not exactly livable. 2.5 hours away for I'm currently working. Moving closer to the house would lower my income. Thoughts? That's a no on all of this stuff. Try to not figure out what your debt is. If it's charged off, it's probably in collections, and that debt you can let sit while you pay off the current debt. Pay off current debt, let that sit. You can settle that for later. If you're going to be sued for that, you're going to be sued for that, and then you can work that out with them even before it goes in front of the judge. So everything you're doing here is bad. Let's get Yanosh involved on Thanksgiving Day. Where's that? There it is. Smart.
If everything you're doing is bad, I want you to know this.
From Ghostbusters 2. The Bitcoin. Let's see. Adventurous Bail 2328. Is Bitcoin really that lucrative? Well, let's break it down for a minute, shall we? Where I have a link to that, don't I? Google Finance. All right. Is it lucrative? Well, okay. So a little bit down today, and I don't think that closes even on Thanksgiving Day. But so, okay. So if you bought anywhere in here, I mean, it's not advised for sure. And I'll get into that in just a second. But so if you bought anywhere in here right now, you made a lot of money. If you sell right now. Now, the problem is with it being up here, if the crypto bros decide to crash it so that they can lock in gains and get some cash, and then they say, okay, well, I'm going to crash it. It's going to be down here again. And then I'll buy some more again. But also have extra cash to do stuff with. Christmas presents or whatever. And so whenever they decide to do that, you're at their mercy. And so if you miss the Reddit meeting or the Reddit post that says, all right, we're all going to sell on this day at this time. If you miss that, then you're down unless you're just going to keep it forever until retirement, and it's not a good retirement asset. It's been proven for long enough, not long enough track record on it. And you can see what it did. It took a while for it to get off the ground, but then it came up here, but then they crashed it. And then it took not that long to get back up to the high. And then they crashed it again. And then it took much longer to get up there. And I would imagine you'd have the same situation. If it crashes again down to this low, it could take even longer to get back up there. And so that's the problem with that. Not as much of a track record. Also, as you can see, like throughout its lifetime, it is 21,000% gain. It's gained 21,000%. It's gone up 21,000%. And so the only problem is that Bitcoin itself is not worth anything. It's not based on anything. The only thing that makes it go up to this number is because people that buy it are willing to pay that much for it. Okay? And that is different than, say, your large cap mutual fund, which would be the NASDAQ. Did not mean to click on that. The large cap mutual fund, which yours should be making more than the index. But guess what? It's based on something. Or even if you did single stocks, not advised, but even if you did single stocks, that's based on something. You buy Apple stock, that's based on what the company is worth. And so that has something behind it. Virtual currency only has behind it what people are willing to pay for it. And there are some people, especially large holders of it, that are able to manipulate that market. And that happens to some degree in the stock market. You do still run into issues sometimes where people want to lock in gains and do that exact same thing. Like they're right here and they say, oh, okay, I'm going to sell. And let's see, hopefully a lot of other people will sell and then it'll get lower. And then I can rebuy it at lower than the current price is right here. So, and they try to time it and such like that, which you shouldn't as well. But that's based on everything. So now if you're in a large cap mutual fund, it's going to have Apple in it and Google in it and Microsoft in it and Amazon in it and Meta in it and Tesla in it. And that's worth something. That's based on something other than just what people will pay for it. And so that's why Mr. Ramsey is not down with it. And me personally, I don't know. I'll be the first to admit I don't know everything about finances. And I certainly don't know everything about virtual currency. But I'm guessing that there's going to be more and more regulation on it, as the government has promised. I don't doubt that's going to happen. See, the whole non-regulated thing was a big draw at first, but now it's being regulated more, and that's going to keep happening. And I think President-elect Trump has said things about like using Bitcoin for something. I don't know what to do with it, but why wouldn't the government put out their own virtual coin? And then you actually have a currency that's based just like the US dollar on whatever gold we have or whatever else. We're not on gold standard anymore, but still under the holdings that United States has and the United States good name. And that's much better than just crypto bros, people's names that are willing to buy it. And so I don't know why the government wouldn't do that. And so I'm, of course, going to find all these clips and play them if that does happen. And I'll say, I was right. Because I haven't seen like any articles or anything like that of people talking about that. That's just something that I think could be the case. And so that's a no. Let's see. Watched a couple that retired early and moved to Portugal with their kids. So what you don't do is you watch one or two TikToks or even YouTube videos, YouTube shorts, and decide that's going to be my retirement investing. You do not do that. That is as dumb as crap. And they recommended not investing in it. Okay. That's interesting. Why? They stated it wasn't real money. They're correct. And it was risky. They're correct. I've been hearing how much growth it has made recently, and I feel disappointed and still behind with investing. That's got you being behind with investing has nothing to do with Bitcoin. I'm in an okay spot. I have no debt and money saved, but how expensive everything is and will become, it's just depressing. Well, you do invest, but you invest in things that are based on something, is the Ramsey advice. Substantial Mix 3013. How to handle subscriptions. You cancel them if you're on steps 1, 2, or 3. I learned financial peace years ago and started to use it before the pandy. Since then, I strayed far away from the methods. Well, that's not good, is it? Mostly because the need for cash has dwindled down immensely. What? I don't find it helpful to keep envelopes of cash for things that are paid electronically, like subscriptions. Anyone have any advice on how to handle this? Oh, okay. So just, I mean, the envelopes at this point, I think, or if you need it to stay within the budget. So you make the budget, you're the boss of the budget, but then after it's made and after you say, okay, that's the budget, then the budget is the boss of you and you don't spend more than that's on the budget. So, what the dealio is with the cash stuffing, as the kids call it, where you put cash into envelopes for different categories. If it being cash helps you to stay on the budget, you do that still. If you can use a debit card and you don't spend extra on it, most people do, according to studies. By using a card and just swiping it or inserting it and putting in a PIN number, that is not as much of a pain point as taking out your money and going, See, that's a pain point. And that registers with people much more. And so they take it much more seriously. Now, you inserting the debit card and putting in the PIN number, that is the same thing as doing that, but people just don't think of it like that. And so if you think of it like that, like I do, and yeah, we didn't have any problem sticking to the budget using debit card. So we never did the envelope system. So, but I mean, subscriptions, if it's something that you can't walk into a place or send the money to somewhere like you can't with most subscriptions, you have to pay online. You got to pay online if you want the subscription. But if you're on steps 1, 2, and 3, you shouldn't have many. Maybe one streaming service at most. And other like little games and crap like that. No, you get your butt to work and get to step 4, and then you can do your little game again. This deleted. Too hot for the person, I guess. The comments. Only 9 though. Should I get a newer car? A newer? Well, that depends on what baby step you're on. If you're on baby steps 1, 2, or 3, that's a no. If there's nothing wrong with your 2014 Honda Pilot, guess what? It is a newer and better brand than mine is, better manufacturer than mine. And so you had it for 10 years. That math checks out. 2024 to 2014 is 10 years, okay? So you got that one new, and you shouldn't have bought that one new. New cars depreciate too much. Let's see, just kind of shy of 190K. What is that? I don't know what 190K is. Is that salary a year? Recently, I've had to put some work into it, about 3K worth in the last 6 months. That's not bad. Honda's still, one of the best manufacturers. Now I have to put about 2K more into it for it to run safely. Struts, sways bar, calipers, brake maintenance. Yeah, well, you're gonna have brake maintenance with any car, so you don't use what you I mean, the caliper. That sometimes happens with brake. That's gonna happen with any car though. So you can't use that as an excuse to buy a new car. A lot of times when people ask this, they just want to buy a new car. And they want justification station here. They want somebody to agree with them. And some of the commenters will, no matter how dumb it is. So, but of course, and even with Honda, there can be a time where it's just costing too much, so it's not worth it. I would think that if you have put in the work that you have already, plus you do the struts, the sway bars, and then the brake maintenance, I would think that it would be fine for a long time. There were some additional recommendations too, but those are the primary concerns at the moment. Should have pushed forward with the repair, or maybe call it a day and upgrade to something newer, not brand new? You can. And again, it depends on your situation. The selling value of the car is $3K at the moment. How is that possible? The 2014 Pilot is $3K, and people say there aren't cars out there anymore. I'm just nervous that I'll fix this last thing and something else will happen. Trying to be smart and safe at the same time. Appreciating feedback. The problem here is that you will, if you sell this one for $3K and you'll have to get something else, and in your case you think newer is the deal, guess what? That newer car could have more problems than the Honda Pilot was going to have. If you buy a brand new car, guess what? That can have more problems than the Honda Pilot was going to have. So, like, you've already done work on it, and so that's replacing it. And so basically those parts would be like brand new cars, wouldn't it? But as far as the, have a mechanic take a look at it and give you a advice on it. I'm not a car guy, so I wouldn't be able to tell you that, but I'm just telling you the logical flow here on the thinking for that. And no, you already have decided you want a new car, I would think. But and to be smart and safe, that's your justification station to get a new thing. The Honda Pilot could be smart and safe as well. If you don't know vehicles and you can't make this call yourself, have your mechanic look at it and give you a recommendation on what to do. But you can't think that a newer car is automatically going to have you with no or less problem, fewer problems than this current car is. Jitterbug 26, missed opportunity for an interesting conversation. All right. I just listened to the caller whose husband is a gambling addict, and she called in for financial advice. Dave and Jade were the hosts. Instead of Dave asking specific questions about her finances and walking her through the steps she should take, all he did was tell her to get a divorce and rant about gambling. Well, if he heard enough to think that he wasn't worth rehabilitating, then you just call it right there. And that's our main problem, not the finances. Now, he can help her with her finances at any time, but the issue was the husband gambling, apparently. The gambling addiction. And so if he's not willing to get any help for it, that kind of thing, I think I heard this one. But, I mean, this does happen quite a bit, matter of fact. So, I mean, at some point, they call in. Guess why they're calling in? Do you know why they're calling in? They're calling in to get the host's opinion. And that was Dave's opinion. So what's the problem for it? I was waiting to hear, how did he take money from your 401k? Well, and also, if this is the one I'm thinking of, he did call her to task on it, but because she allowed this stuff to happen for X number of years. So she allowed all of this. If he took money from her 401k, she allowed that. And so she's just as guilty as he is. Let's see. I wanted to hear, first, change all your passwords, then put a freeze on your credit. Well, I mean, that would have been good advice, probably. Wanted more of a conversation with this lady. Well, see, the problem is he's been doing it for 30 years, and you just think you know better about a radio show. So, doesn't mean you're not right about it, but he's the one that gets to decide that. So that is a waste of your time thinking about something that you can't change. Because that's got nothing to do with you. It's what happens on the Ramsey show has nothing to do with your little opinion. So you can have it. That's fine. You can wish he did that. And I'm not saying that it wouldn't have been interesting. Sure, but they also only want to spend X amount of time with each caller as well. So it's not like an intervention section which session which she may need as well. So let's see. Versus jumping to another typical question we hear every single day. Well, so this one comes up quite a bit. A lot of gambling addicts or any other kind of addict. Any addict that is almost any addict is gonna mean financial problems, and so that does come up quite often. So let's see what else. If Ramsey Solutions monitors this, I don't think they do. They don't have anything to do with this. This is run by fans, so I don't think they do. Please quit sticking to a prescribed. Every call gets 3 minutes. You don't get to run it. You can start your own advice show and then do it however you want to. If you got the opportunity for more interesting, and see, more interesting is subjective. Maybe they didn't think it was that interesting. You don't know. You don't know what other information that she already gave the screener that they had on a screen, and so already knew it, so didn't have to ask. It doesn't matter that they didn't ask it, so that she could tell them something that they already knew, just for the radio audience. The radio audience didn't need that in their opinion, and so, that's fine. You don't have to watch it. If you don't like the show, don't watch it. But don't try to run it from your, wherever you are, not working for that company. You don't have any control over it, and your opinion doesn't matter. You don't have to watch it if you don't like it. Any good work from home side jobs? This from Trisolar. Trisolar and Solar in Crisis. I don't know what that means. Trisolarin. Maybe Trisolarin is a thing, and that's a crisis. Any good work from home side jobs? Hi all. Hi guys. I'm paying down some debt and looking for a side hustle. Not many extra shifts available where I work. I've seen work from home is rough. You got to get the right kind. You can do remote work, that kind of thing. You can start your own business, like where you're selling things, like you buy stuff from Goodwill or wherever else you can get things cheap and sell it for more on the Etsy or something like that. Some people do make a lot of money doing that. But that also probably doesn't start happening immediately, so you got to put some time in. So you can just do like remote work for any company as well. So you just gotta, Google it. Why not Google it? I would Google it and see. Let's see. I have 3 degrees and work as a nurse practitioner in the emergency department. I've seen many here deliver pizza or work at Walmart, etc. Right. I don't want the wear on my car and gas mileage. Wah. Okay, well, if you don't do that, then be smart enough, 3 degrees, to Google it. But 9 people answered, so maybe they have some better advice than I did. But that's what I can think of at the moment. Remote for some company or some kind of job that you do outside of your home that can bring in more money. Work from home jobs like reviewing documents, editing, medical, all of that is available. Like medical transcription, all of that is available. I've looked at remote nurse practitioner jobs, but most are needed in big states with large populations and won't consider me where I am licensed in a very remote state. Thank you, just brainstorming. Even a remote one, they won't take in certain states. You got to be licensed in the state to be remote. I guess you do. All right. That makes sense. All right. But yeah, I would take a little 3 degree person. I would take a little bit more initiative and try to figure it out yourself. Why can't you go? Your Google search would come up with more than you have here. This was 2 days ago and nine responses. So, yeah, you can, if you want extra work, you can find extra work. You just have to want to bad enough and not put limitations on yourself, like your little, I don't want to wear on my car and gas mileage. Okay, great. Try to find something that you can do from home. And maybe some of the 9 people gave her good advice on that. Alrighty, once more, I am Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. Yeah, that link is in the chat and also in the ticker below. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com about financial coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel. Donations go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, still Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, Ramsey Show, Aftershow show, Monday through Friday, except for tomorrow at 5:25 p.m. Again, Black Friday. Friday the, what is that, the 29th? Yes, November 29th, 5:25 p.m. Will not happen. I will either do it around an after show around 7 p.m. on Friday, or I'll do a answering your financial questions stream on Saturday instead. And so again, for the youtube.com/coachstevemoney for the financial content, you just scroll down just a little bit and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show, the answering your financial questions playlist as well, and the 11 Ramsey adjacent songs that are in the music playlist, such as You Belong Dead Free, You Belong Dead Free, Steve's version, not Taylor's version of, and How to Do the Baby Steps Right. So take a listen to those if you are so inclined. So again, no stream at 5:25 p.m. tomorrow, Friday, November 29th. I'll either do it at 7 p.m. tomorrow night on the 11/29, or I'll do it on Saturday, 11:30, November 30th at 4 p.m. All right. Hope everybody had a lovely Thanksgiving, or still having one if you're watching live. And of course, as always, make smart financial decisions every day.